Welcome to episode 286 of the Grip Strip Podcast, the Road Graders edition of the Grip Strip Podcast. My name is Phil Matthew. I'm your host. And as always, I'm with my co-host, the iRacing Indy 500 champion, computer genius, a gentleman and scholar, and a Jacksonville diehard fan who is watching his Jacksonville Jaguars as we do this live for episode 286. His name is Joshua Fine. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, doing great, Phil. Yeah, a lot of craziness this weekend here at the Roval and otherwise. But yeah, of course, Jacksonville playing on Monday night for the first time since 2 years ago. So big game here, especially going up against the Kansas City Chiefs here on Monday night.
Yeah, going against Kermit the Frog and Maggot Boy over there. They're showing him for the kicking, but trying to beat the dominant presence in the AFC for the last 6 years at least, 7 years, whatever the hell it's been, since Kermit came along. So it would be a huge win for the franchise, bringing back those old school uniforms. He just blew his ass up and he still got the ball off. Oh man. They were right there too. Oh man. But yeah, in terms of the Roval, in terms of who won, it wasn't that surprising. Shane Van Gisburgen in the Cup Series, Connor Zilisch in the Xfinity, and then Corey Heim in the Truck Series. Wasn't straightforward for Corey Heim. SVG had to do a little work. Connor Zilisch not so much. But in the grand scheme of things, you had your last road race of the year, and the guys that have been dominant on road courses this whole entire year did the same thing. So we'll get in all three of those races. The drivers who advanced in Cup and Xfinity, Heim winning has him locked in the Final Four for the third consecutive year. In Singapore for Formula One, George Russell qualified on pole on Saturday and took that pole and basically ran off. There were tire offsets and strategy, but in the end, Russell got the start, was able to maintain and get his fifth career victory over Fishlips and Lando Norris. Norris hit both Fishlips and teammate Oscar Piastri. Piastri then proceeded to be pissed for the rest of the race. So he seems to be not so happy these days. These last few races have not gone his way, outside of the Dutch Grand Prix where Norris blew up while battling him for the win. We'll talk about other key storylines from the race in Singapore, which had heat advisory, so they had different rules for the weekend. We'll talk about NFL Week 5. 49ers started it off with a dramatic win on Thursday Night Football against the Rams and Levi South. We got Jacksonville playing right now. We got plenty of other stuff going on. More injuries in the NFL. So for us fantasy players, more work to do, trying to figure out who some of these guys are. In the roundup, we'll talk about F1 Academy. That was also in Singapore. MotoGP and Moto2 are in Mandalika, which saw a rare instance of a factory Ducati not winning. It looked like it was going to be a manufacturer that wasn't Ducati, but in the end, the Gresini team did get the victory with Fermin Aldeguer getting his first career victory. We'll preview the race at Estoril for World Superbike. NHRA will be back in Dallas. IMSA's Petit Le Mans to end their 2025 season. And then last but not least, the biggest race in Australian motorsport, the Bathurst 1000, um, at one of the greatest circuits that exists on planet Earth. Um, we'll preview Cup and Xfinity at Las Vegas and make our picks. Josh will let us know all things going on iRacing gaming in the sim segment, and we'll call it a day. Pump fake there, floater to Worthy. They're saying he was out of bounds. He was forced out, but can't. All right. So right now we're
In goal.
yep, third and goal. He only had 1 foot in, anyways. He got it, but he only had 1 foot in. So this is a huge play here. If they can go and get this stop. They're showing that, and then
Flag.
probably holding or interference. That was a pick play. That was a pick play. Definitely a pick play on that was a pick play on whoever's on that side with.
Yeah, Schmitz Schuster.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Oh, come on. Yeah, that's definitely a pick play.
And they pulled it? Ah, wow.
BS. That was an obvious pick play too. Because Travis Kelce's going at the speed of molasses, they're gonna go and say that it wasn't a pick play. Like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, so let's get into the Roval, the Bank of America Roval 400, Charlotte. Tyler Reddick qualified on pole, dealing with, of course, his son's health situation, with rookie with his heart, and like, what is it, also his kidneys and everything going on. So really difficult time for the Reddick family at this moment. But he went out there, put it on pole, um, and we both picked. We went chalk, and we were correct. However, it wasn't straightforward that chalk was going to work. Ross Chastain had actually shown up and was running well enough to probably make it, because Joey Logano was being Joey Logano in most instances and just kind of running mid. And then Ross Chastain helped him out with mistakes. And Charlotte, of course, was where he won the Coca-Cola 600, his biggest win of his career, in May. And then he came back in October and had to drive backwards across the line to end up falling 4 points short of making the round of 8. In part because he ran into Denny Hamlin, but also because Denny Hamlin didn't even know that if he hadn't passed Ross Chastain at that point, supposedly he would have been in. But that's it. It's the whole entire round of 12 for Denny Hamlin might be one of the worst rounds for him in his illustrious career. Um, there's a lot to talk about. I mean, the main thing, you look at the results, we'll go through them here. SVG led the most laps, won stage 1, and gets his 5th win of 2025. Kyle Larson led the second most laps on the day. Christopher Bell, my choice, finished 3rd. Christopher Buescher, Michael McDowell, round out your top 5. Those guys were all within the top 7 at the start of the day for qualifying. So Brian Preece, never known as a big-time road racer, but was able to come from 29th to finish 6th. Daniel Suarez finished 7th. William Clyde Elliott II finished 8th. AJ Allmendinger finished 9th, and then Tyler Reddick finished 10th. Allmendinger led 13 laps in the race. Blaney won stage 2 and was able to get back to 13th. Briscoe 14th, Bubba 15th. I passed over Will Byron and Keebler Gibbs there. Logano ended up finishing 20th. Chastain was 21st. Hamlin was 23rd. Austin Cindric finished 36th. And then Riley Herbst got DQ'd after getting into it with both Ty Dillon and Kyle Busch. So credit to him for being in the way and still figuring out a way to be dead last. But yeah, I mean, in terms of this race, SVG and Larson were the two best cars. They had to battle the whole day, and even if Larson believes that, is Brent? That was a good play there. Brenton Strange, yeah, good play there. He's been a revelation for you guys.
Oh yeah, he's been a really good tight end. I think he's really underrated as a tight end in the league, but yeah.
Yeah, he's been making plays, and he stretches and he gives you that extra room for the two big-time wide receivers there. So see if they can make something happen here. Need to go and score on this drive. They were faking with Travis Hunter. It's a good call there. But, I mean, Larson felt like he was being played with by SVG, who over this season has shown that he doesn't have to go at 100% and he can still be faster than everybody. In this race, I think the tires also played a part in terms of having to strategize, manage them, keep something under you, because if you didn't, you're going to have issues late in the race. And so you have to give Badger credit for that, because NASCAR refuses to fix the car. But I mean, SVG is the best road racer in this series, in the sport, and nothing that happened yesterday, Josh, would change that belief going into 2026. It's more a case of now, what does he do the last 4 races of this year on some different types of racetracks to get the momentum going towards possibly trying to last longer in the playoffs next year, because even though one of his teammates is going to be Connor Zilisch, he's still going to be the man to beat on these road courses.
Yeah, I mean, SVG is still the man to beat on the road courses. Just the way he drives, honestly, the technique that he has with downshifting, how he uses the clutch. I mean, it's just something that really none of the drivers really have an ability to match there. I mean, even Larson has said that, a couple years ago when they had talked about the ability, I think he just said it was just something that it would be really hard to emulate as a driver there. But for SVG, I mean, just so it shows how good he is under braking, that he can make up that much time without needing to go 100%. And then a lot of times when you go hard into a corner, it's hard to keep that momentum going through on the corner exit of a especially like a chicane or something like that. But Shane Van Gisburgen, he's able to close the gap quite rapidly, and we saw the ending that race there multiple times in that final 2 tire stints. We'll say SVG chasing down Larson, and he was able to make that move within just a handful of laps. And of course, for Larson there, last run, SVG attempted to overtake him there, and maybe SVG got a little too greedy there, maybe per se, but going into the final corner before the oval there, turn 7 there, but just a really challenging corner there for a lot of those guys. But if SVG able to get in there and really close the gap, but just made contact, and I guess at the very least, I mean, looks like maybe Kyle Larson is, you look at Shane Van Gisburgen, kind of still the ringer in this series on road courses, able to try to make something out of it, but ultimately just unstoppable there for SVG. So, with SVG, his ability on ovals, you want to see him be able to improve so that he's going to be consistent, and maybe we're beginning to see that now. He's had a couple of finishes where he did really well on ovals. Previous week, Kansas got a top 10, really good there. So you're hoping to see that he's going to be able to put it together on the rest of these tracks other than the road courses, where he can be a consistent threat and somebody that people have to take seriously outside of the road courses. And going into the playoffs, I thought maybe he could, potentially, if he improves enough to get into the ovals, to get into the round of 8. We didn't see that, unfortunately, but I think definitely next year, having seen all these tracks now, and I think an off season where definitely you can learn a lot in the simulator, I think definitely there's that ability for him there. So we'll see if he's able to improve next year in the Cup Series. But as for the rest of the guys, yeah, Larson otherwise, I mean, dry spell, of course, for him. Now I think 20 races now, but at the same time, they look like they're kind of getting back on their footing. They've been, since the Indy 500, basically have been kind of off, but in the last couple of weeks here in the playoffs, they've seemingly turned it around. Same thing for Chris Bell. They've been all over the place, I feel like, but now round of 8 here, they're finishing top 3, and they would be if this was the Winston Cup standings, of course, and you score the old school Latford style way. Chris Bell would be the point leader right now in that system. So there's something to be said about his performance there, of course. But yeah, for the rest of the playoff field, of course, the focus with the transfer spot, Ross Chastain was to the good, but then just didn't have the tires at the end to hold off people, and then sent it in there on the final chicane there, trying to get around Denny Hamlin, of course. Complete bonsai move, and very reminiscent of Kevin Harvick on Kyle Busch back at Martinsville in 2020 there, just trying to complete desperation, trying to get into the next round. Fortunately, yeah, that was basically a unpredictable move there, and of course a very highly unlikely move that would pay off for him there, of course. And then on the flip side, Denny says he didn't really know and wasn't aware, of course. And would you rather face Ross Chastain or Denny Hamlin or Joey Logano there? There's that question, but I think I think it doesn't matter. I think you have to, regardless of who it is, you got to beat them on the racetrack. So third and goal there, but yeah, for Logano, of course, sneaks into the round of 8 once again. So definitely gonna have to look out for him here in this playoff round, especially with a really good track for him in Las Vegas coming up here next week. So yeah, this is definitely a very interesting round here, especially this race. It wasn't pretty straightforward, especially with the tire strategy. That was really the only way that Larson and Bell, I think, had a chance to beat SVG here this weekend. But I think in a lot of these cases, yeah, SVG very inevitable here this season on road courses.
Yeah, as we go to a fourth down, and oh man, he just got stopped. I think he got stopped. Was that fourth down?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was third down. Yeah.
So that was third down.
Yeah.
So now it's fourth and goal. So second down, they went to ETN. Okay. Oh, this is a really bad idea. They just turned the ball over. That was a really bad idea. Like, you're going against the best defensive tackle in the NFL, and then you have those linebackers, and he tried to do that reach thing, and they stripped it. Well, they hit him in the face, so that probably didn't help. Alrighty then. That's lovely. That was just a really bad sequence in the red zone. I mean, fine going to ETN, I guess, but you probably should be like optioning over to the tight end there. Probably go and look at a wide receiver, at least make an offer there. Then on third down, running the option. I mean, if you're gonna run the option, you have a guy who's the Heisman Trophy winner. I think would be a better option. And then fourth down, try and extend the ball there. That's just, I don't know. Like, with some of those guys, like that, those linebackers are very scrappy linebackers. You got Chris Jones in the middle there. That's a hard ask to try and make that happen. But we'll see what happens. I mean, in terms of SVG, we knew going into this weekend that it was going to be a likely scenario that he was going to win. Bell and Larson kind of set themselves apart from the rest of the playoff guys by going up there and actually giving SVG a little bit of a battle. And since we're probably not going to hear about SVG as in terms of running up in the top of the leaderboard for the rest of this year, there's a little bit of momentum going to Vegas for those two guys. Both of them have done very well there. Of course, Larson's won there multiple times. Logano backdooring himself into another round of the playoffs, going to 3 tracks that he has won at before. If he can put one of these races together, of course, we know what he's capable of. Blaney winning a stage, getting an extra playoff point. That was, I think, the long game strategy, looking at Martinsville, which he's won at 2 years in a row. Hoping that, of course, he'll have a similar car and then be able to go out there and utilize points to get in, whether he gets the win or not. But let us go into, and then, I mean, Hamlin not knowing what's going on. I mean, it was a pretty bad round of 12 for him. He still leads the points going into the reset. He's +8 to the good at the moment. Blaney +6, Larson and Byron +4 over Bell. Then there's a gap, -14 for Briscoe, -14 for Elliott, and then he didn't get it. He didn't, unless the point got there. There's no way. Oh, are they going to say he digitally got it? No, he didn't. Okay. And then Logano's -24. So, oh boy. If he goes to, oh man, he almost went to the house. So yeah, that's the final 8 for the Cup Series. We'll go to the Xfinity Series. The Blue Cross North Carolina 250 at the Charlotte Roval. They moved the race back to later. I think there was college football and stuff going on. And this was a Connor Zilisch benefit. He won stage 1. His bestie won stage 2. There was 68 laps in the race, and he led 61 of them. Credit to Austin Green for finishing second, driving for Jordan Anderson. Sammy Smith's best finish in months. Kaz Gralla getting a 4th place finish. Connor Mozak, who said that he doesn't have a full-time ride for next year, driving the 9 for JRM, gets a top 5 finish. Jeb Burton finished 6th. William Sawalich, Allgaier, Sanchez, Eckes, your top 10. A bunch of the playoff guys were outside of the top 10. Creed, Love, Gray were 11th through 13th. The 19, which is a playoff car, was 14th. Carson Quapple, 15th. You had Buckshot Jones, 18th, and Sam Mayer, 19th. Hank Hill finished 28th. Harrison Burton finished 34th. Hank Hill, the points situation for him, because basically his deficit that he had, or he lost out on prior to, or that he lost out to with the reset, was because of losing all them playoff points. But, he's a douche, so he got what was coming to him. But yeah, Zilisch, 50 something, what is it? He's got a 55-point lead on the cut line, 31 on Allgaier. If he can avoid, it's another touchdown for Kermie. And then, for Zilisch, it's kind of a case of keep the car clean. If he can keep the car in one piece for 3 races and get okay finishes. He's finished in the top 5 in every race since May, somewhere in May, when Talladega was the last time he didn't. Or that car didn't. And so he's had to miss a race. He's taken a dive off of the car, all this stuff. He's won 10 races. So it's crazy to think. And we're going to see him next year in the Cup Series. He's the Rookie of the Year favorite. I don't even know what other rookies are going to be, but he's one of the best prospects we've seen in a long, long time, Josh. And just like SVG, there's an inevitability that comes with Connor Zilisch, and he kind of proved that on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, for Connor Zilisch, I've said it before, but with the way he's been on ovals, and if you think that this is going to translate, there's going to be a learning curve next year, but I certainly think that his performance next year on ovals will probably be where we want SVG to be at some point. And so I think being that much better on ovals, I think that makes him, certainly a bigger threat next year in some ways than SVG. But we'll see how on road courses, how does he perform, compared to SVG in that regard, given the similarities with this car and the V8 supercar. But for the Xfinity Series, at the very least, certainly, for Connor Zilisch, just able to continue to get wins when they matter. Of course, now all he has to do is just make it into the round of 8, which I'm almost certainly will make it into the championship 4, and then it'll just be about executing down the line on Phoenix there. So we'll see how he's able to perform there, but Saturday, of course, just ahead of the field in almost every regard. Just never really a question. Him being able to win that race, there was a little bit where there were other people that had an opportunity, like Allgaier, but at the same time, Connor Zilisch just able to continue to get wins here on the season, and now 10th win. So going to be interesting to see how he poses for that 10th win victory picture, because he's seen on or 11th win, because we've seen on social media he said he'd probably have to get his toe out and start doing it that way to count the 11th win. So we'll have to see how it goes the rest of the way for him. But yeah, just absolute no question. I mean, just been the best driver in the series all year for Zilisch. But I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays going forward. But I think the other guys have to talk about here. I mean, Austin Green. I mean, dude barely got even a mention really, and he finished in second here. And it's super underrated there for what he's been able to do this season in limited seat time as well. So can't count him out of the conversation in terms of just the finishing order. But yeah, obviously there's the discussion with with Sammy Smith making it in. Obviously, perfect timing there with the caution and pitting, and at the very end, pitting before the yellow, just before it. So crazy timing there, but put him in position to go out and get that top three finish there and knock out Taylor Gray, who I think a lot of people would have thought that perhaps maybe he would have been there in this round of 8, but Sammy Smith, who did end up trying to win Martinsville, ended up with that finish there. Could be a potential threat if things go his way. So yeah, overall for Junior Motorsports, they qualified 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and they had a pretty good weekend overall with Zilisch winning and then Sammy Smith converting in the championship 4, or in the going into the round of 8.
And considering he had the one win to backdoor his way in at Rockingham because of a DQ, he hasn't done much of anything, and he's pretty mediocre. But for him to come through in this spot and run well enough to get in, utilizing that caution to his advantage, credit to him. Credit to JRM to get 4, to get, 3 cars? Yeah, 3 of their cars into the 4 cars into the final 8, showing how dominant they've been as an organization this year. You look at, other than that, you have the Haas team that has 2 cars, and then you have Gibbs and RCR represented in the owner standing reset. The 19 makes it in versus the 8. So the 21 actually, yeah, the 21 and the 19 are in based on the owner standings. And then the 8 and the 1 miss out on that one. So 21 still has something to race for in terms of the owner points, but not in the drivers. And same for the 19, trying to make the final 4. But you look at the points there, Zilisch and Allgaier have decent or solid gaps. Buckshot Jones +4 over the cut. Sam Mayer +2 over Jesse Love. Sammy Smith's -7. Carson Quapple -11. And then Sheldon Creed -13. So Quapple doesn't know what he's going to be doing for a good amount of next year. He's going to run a limited amount of races. And Creed, of course, knows he'll be back next year, I think, and they'll be running Chevys along with Sam Mayer, those two. Sammy Smith's going to be back next year. Jesse Love figures the same. So most of these guys, for the exception of, I think, Carson Quapple, are pretty certain of their situation for next year. So I think maybe a little more desperation for him, maybe for Sheldon Creed to finally get that win. But I think if I was Jordan Anderson, I'd be looking at Austin Green, putting Austin Green in a car full time, because it would probably make the team better, because he's so versatile on road courses and he's getting better on ovals. And it's an opportunity, because Zilisch ain't going to be out there every race. So it'll be an opportunity going to road courses next year. The Truck Series ran on Friday afternoon, their first race, so their round of 8. $250. And it was Brent Cruz or Corey Heim started on pole, got wrecked was part of a wreck that was started by Grant Enfinger that took out what is it? Why am I forgetting his name? Lane Riggs, and then took out Corey Heim. Corey Heim went into the heartburn turn wall and destroyed most of the truck, but then still came back, stayed out on a late race caution that was caused by teammate and mustard drinker Tony Breidinger for since that was what she was doing on her social. I forget.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
That was so weird.
Yeah, I don't know. She should just do porn and do us all a favor and get out of a damn truck. She has the nails for it. But yeah, you had Ben Rhodes wrecked her lap 1 or lap 2, whatever. Oh, there's a catch. Oh, that's nice. And then Kligerman had issues. But in the grand scheme of things, similar to what the similar pattern of this weekend started on Friday. Heim locking himself in for a third consecutive year into the Final Four. A couple of years ago, it was Carson Hocevar running him over, and then Corey Heim losing his mind and wrecking him. And oh man, that's a pick. Oh geez, wow.
Yeah, real fortunate.
Yeah, that was really bad. I wonder when the hell Trevor Lawrence morphed into being a Rutgers quarterback, but some of the decisions he's making, the guy was like a Heisman Trophy guy every year. And I don't know, some of the decisions.
Isn't a bad throw there.
It's,
I mean,
yeah. That one, yeah, he should have had, to be fair. I mean, it was a little bit odd. Like, that's Tim Patrick, so yeah. But oh, there you go. Oh, why did he run right into the tight end? Oh well. Yeah, so Heim gets the win. Cruz dominated. Caden Honeycutt won both stages, and that was key for him in regards to advancing. In terms of Riggs had issues, but still, of course, had a lot of gap there. Gio Ruggiero finishing third gives Tricon their first 1, 2, 3 of their existence. Rajah Caruth came through for fourth. Connor Zilisch was fifth. Josh Balicki was sixth. Enfinger seventh. Majeski eighth. Ankrum ninth. Connor Mozak 10th. So 2 top 10s for him. Hemrick had to start tailback and was able to get back to 11th. Honeycutt had issues there late in the race, fell back to 14th. I mentioned, and Riggs was 21st. So yeah, I mean, Corey Heim gets his 10th win, breaks that record, the tie that he had with Greg Biffle. And still has 3 races to go. So could, in fact, if he can win out, win 13 races in a season. So that would be unprecedented. Yeah, I mean, for Corey Heim, I think it's the same pattern as what we've been talking about for the first two guys.
Yeah, for Corey Heim, he has an incredible comeback there, and yeah, definitely had a lot of help there at the final caution there. Tony Bradiger running out of fuel there at the very end and stopped on track. But I mean, it was a really impressive run from Brent Cruz there, who, going up against Connor Zilisch there at the end, just had the better truck and was able to just run away with it for the most part. And for Brent Cruz, I mean, he had this race covered until the very, very end there, and Corey Heim able to stay out on tires and take the win there, and just another win, breaks the record in the truck series. But for Corey Heim, I mean, being able to come back from being able, the first lap wreck, that's what you want from a driver, being able to do that. And even before that, they were running in third. So just a great comeback there for Corey Heim to go and win this race. And Brent Cruz, I mean, he's been going at it with Connor Zilisch for years on the kart tracks, growing up, and yeah, he definitely showed that he can be a really good prospect here in this series as well. And then as for Zilisch, I feel like he just never had the truck in this race. Just never seemed like he could get up there and challenge, and Brent Cruz is just too much for everybody there. So as for other guys like Lane Riggs, Lane Riggs definitely could have had an opportunity there in this race, but he falls back behind with the issues that they had. But at the same time, we recognize him as more of a short track guy, so he'll have opportunities here coming up, especially at Martinsville, to have an opportunity. Obviously, we think he'll be one of the other guys in this final championship for, but of course now on the outside looking in. So for guys like Ankrum, Daniel Hemrick, Raja Karuth, obviously made a huge opportunity for them to be in the championship for presently at the moment. So Lane Riggs, of course, opportunity at Martinsville here in a couple weeks. So we'll find out here as Jags get on the board. So it'd be interesting to see. But yeah, this race otherwise, I mean, other than that first lap accident and all those issues, this is pretty uneventful otherwise.
Which isn't surprising. The truck series on a road course is really bad. They're too slow. They're not really built for road racing anymore. It was a good throw though. They're a good route, back shoulder, nice throw, nice design, good route run there by Washington. Cut the lead in half. Uh-oh. Okay. So cut the lead in half, get a stop, go and see what you guys can do. Still a game here. So the truck series, the points are super close going into the final, whatever, this next two races here. So I mean, it's just bring it up out of curiosity. So yeah, right now Heim, of course, in Ankrum, Hemrick +2, Raja Karuth +1 over Lane Riggs, Ty Majeski -2, Grant Enfinger, Caden Honeycutt -4. So Honeycutt was really angry about losing a bunch of spots, and those spots might have been the difference for him being in the top 4 going into Talladega versus not. But when you consider how crazy Talladega can be and a long history, of course, the reason why the algorithm is named after Tate Fogelman, um, of weird and unusual winners, non-playoff drivers. So that also can play a part in affecting the result going into what is going to probably be a demolition derby at Martinsville later this month. So it reset, went, and why? Where did it go? Oh boy. I lost my list for a second here because it rebooted. So let's see if we can bring it up here now. Okay, good.
Singapore, right?
Yeah, Singapore Grand Prix. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, for Singapore Grand Prix, for George Russell this year has been a great year for him in general. I would say I think it's arguably his best year of his career because of considering what the car is, what they bring on a week to week basis. It's not like they have the best car, best situation to try and compete on a weekly basis, but at least if you're able to put yourself in a spot more times than not, then you give yourself an opportunity to compete for a win here and there, and that's what he's done this year. Qualifying was a big determination of that. Going out there and getting that victory, and then goes and then yeah, do from the and then oh god, yeah, the and I mean for Mercedes, considering where the constructors championship is at the moment, you need every point's going to count in terms of what happens there, and as you go, there will be a leading into what will be a 3 or 2, back to back. Okay, then they'll have a week off, then they'll go to Brazil. Okay, so for Russell, qualifying on pole uh, largely determined his victory there at Singapore's 5th career victory. Scrolling through all that, Russell wins by 5.43 seconds over Fish Lips. Lando Norris was only just over 6 seconds behind in 3rd. Piastri 8.14 seconds back in 4th. Andrea Kimi Antonelli finished 5th. Leclerc 6th. Fernando Alonso was 7th. Over a minute 20 back. And Lewis Hamilton put on soft tires, finished 8th, lost brakes, didn't get penalized, but whatever.
He was penalized.
Oh, that's why he lost the position there. Because I feel like he was in 7th. And, yeah, he lost. I guess he got that'll 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits. Oh, so he had beat Alonso, but okay. Lovely. Ollie Bierman, last car in the lead lap. Carlos Sainz, after both Williams had been excluded from qualifying, ends up 10th. So coming off of that podium, goes out there and gets a gets a 10th place. Isaac Hadjar just outside the points in 11th. And then we'll go from there. Nobody fell out of the race. But yeah, I mean, George Russell went out there, did a great job. And I mean, he doesn't, it's not really a battle with him and Fish Lips, but considering where he is in the world championship, to be fourth in the world championship with a car that probably is the third best car, is a great job by him. And it's why he's been a top line prospect and people have talked about him for years, and Mercedes Jr. and et cetera, et cetera. So these are the kind of performances you need to make that kind of belief continue. And then also you got to look at the fact that he's trying to get a contract extension too. So there's that as well. But great run by him, great job by Mercedes to manage the different strategies and keep people like Fish Lips and the McLarens at bay.
Yeah, it's for George Russell. I mean, obviously coming out on Friday or on pole day and winning the pole. I mean, that's obviously significant. But then also just getting the start that they had, and then just putting on a 10-second lead to begin with. Like that's what you want from your driver. There is a number one driver for Mercedes, and for them, of course. Just a big win for Russell. And yeah, you mentioned the contract extension there. Obviously, still haven't done that yet for them, but I think it'd be pretty hard to not re-sign him at this point. So yeah, for Russell, I mean, it's definitely saying to they need to extend him, because I mean it'd be hard to not have him in that car, honestly, and he's been their prospect for a while, and obviously idolized Lewis, posting showing the picture of Lewis winning in 2018 with a dominant win in Singapore, and then now he has that opportunity for himself to be able to do that there. So yeah, nobody else obviously was really able to challenge. I mean, the start, Verstappen not really able to do anything there, and then Norris and Piastri, of course, they still get the McLaren constructors title, and Lando did gain 3 points on Piastri for the World Drivers' Championship, still within earshot of the points lead, within 23 of Piastri. So there's still a chance there, but for Piastri, I mean, he's got an opportunity here as we begin to wind down the season there. So yeah, it's going to be interesting here in the next couple of races, and we still have a handful of races to get to here in the season. So we'll see this final points battle as it progresses throughout the rest of the season, whether Lando Norris can close in or not on Piastri.
And that's the game itself, knowing what they'll be able to do with the controversy of the race yesterday and the start where Norris hit both Fish Lips and Piastri. Piastri was pissed off. It's been going down this kind of road for a while with him having issues with what's been happening on the racetrack, decisions that the team is making, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, it's something that we have to keep an eye on with the way the points are at the moment, and knowing that every position's gonna matter coming to Abu Dhabi at the end of the year. So it's something we have to look at Currently, Piastri is 22 points out of Norris. Verstappen in third is, what is it, 70, 40, 33, 36 points out of Russell. Eclair is 27, yeah, 37, 57, 64 ahead, or 64 behind Russell. And then Lewis is 50, what is it? Yeah, 48 points behind Leclerc. Antonelli in seventh, Albon eighth, Isaac Hadjar ninth. And it's actually a good battle from Isaac Hadjar all the way to Esteban Ocon. I said that last week, is only 11 points separating all those guys. So, and then in the constructors, of course, McLaren has it locked up. Mercedes with the win takes a 27-point lead over Ferrari into Coda. Ferrari only has an 8-point lead on Red Bull. Williams solidly in fifth, 30 points out of Toro Rosso, who's 4 points at Aston Martin. Then you have Sauber and Haas. It's a 9-point gap between those two. And then Alpine bringing up the rear. So we got that. We'll go into the week 5 of NFL. I mentioned the 49ers and them getting the win on Thursday night. It was a huge win. Yankees came back after a terrible game 1 performance, or post, after they pulled Max Fried, who then proceeded to throw batting practice on Saturday or yesterday. But now you got, and the Yankees were able to get past the Swaks. Then you had the Niner game, which was just total nail biter, more injury issues, but in the end they got through, got the win. And with all the issues for the rest of the division, add to their lead in the NFC West. Currently, I lost 2 of my games. And
Yeah, you beat me tonight.
Because of Kermie. And I have other than Wilson and Manny are the 2 teams that I'm battling for like high point of the week, even though we don't do that anymore. It's the fall brawl situation. So we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, and you got, so looks like right now, what is it? Joe is 1 over Vic. Luke is lost to Matt. Jeff trying to, he lost already. Yeah, so Jeff has lost to Wilson. So Wilson continues perfect. He'll be 5-0. And then Steve is done, and Manny's going to go to 4-1. If he wins money, he should pay me half of it, because it's because of me that he didn't go and draft like Terry Bradshaw or some shit. Yeah, and then in my other 2 leagues, lost relatively close. It was a 7-point loss, and that was partly due to the fact that I have Omari and Hampton, who got hurt. Derrick Henry's not been great. I didn't play, I guess, not playing Baker Mayfield and Justin Herbert. I guess these last few weeks, the Chargers have not. I don't know what happened to him after that first couple of games. I had Baker Mayfield and Rico Dowdle on the bench. I got 20 points out of Indianapolis' defense. Still figured out a way to lose. Then my other team, the one that was like the auto drafted, which I've renamed after our podcast,
Nice.
going to unfortunately lose, but this team, at least I have a little bit more leeway here, because it's not like there's it doesn't seem like there's a high level of participation in this, so I can kind of fade some of these things. So I might actually have to make that move. I'm actually looking at the waivers in that particular league. As position rank. Oh, that's why. But yeah, I mean, doing all right, staying competitive. Niners are playing all right, so football's going all right for me. I mean, for you, Josh, we're still sweating your Jaguars, 14-7 at the half. Freaking Boomer looking about 150. Looks like a freaking baked potato now. With a Three Stooges hairdo, no less. But yeah, I mean, how are fantasy teams going for you, and how are you feeling so far with your team's performance in the first half?
Well, I mean, yeah, fantasy. I mean, yeah, close matchup again as usual between us, and yeah, I mean, it's pretty. I mean, pretty tough. I mean, I feel like all my most part all my guys on this side had something there, but you just had better day overall there. Bobby Wagner, of course, ton of tackles. They're just carrying you on defense there. So yeah, just hard to beat a 212 usually, but that today you're probably gonna get another 20 points or so. So we'll see there, but at least for points scored, it certainly matters there. So that'll come into play for the tiebreakers there. My other teams, well, Lamar Jackson was out, so, and Michael Penix was on bye week this week, so I had to start. I had to start Geno Smith, which was terrible because he was the only guy that was really available there. So yeah, that was pretty bad there. And then I tried starting Darius Slayton because Rome Duze was out as well on bye week there. So that was terrible. Although points wise, I mean, my flex player was Slayton, and the other person their flex player was Jerry Jeudy. So that was almost even. And then yeah, Puka Nacua had a big game on Thursday for my opponent. So just yeah, completely blew me out of the water there. So, and he had Jonathan Taylor, who I also have Jonathan Taylor in this league. So in our league, so it kind of like it's gonna lose there. So oh well, but yeah, it should be interesting the rest of this game. We'll just have to get some turnovers here hopefully, and steal some possessions there, and definitely missed opportunity there with the failed fourth down conversion QB sneak there. So we'll just have to, but at least they're able to come back and get a touchdown on the drive before, well, the second drive before the half. So yeah, we'll see how this game goes. Yeah, it's going to be interesting there. It's still close. I mean, it's still within a score. So just have to get the ball back here on defense here coming out in the second half. So yeah, we'll see.
Sure. There you go. Yeah. I mean, it's still plenty of. You got a whole half to go. Make some plays. Make a play on defense. I think that's really where you guys were able to keep the Niners on their toes during with defense, making all those plays on the ball, forcing turnovers. And it's hard to force Kermy into turnovers, but if you can get into his kitchen and blow him up once, that'll help a little bit. We'll see how that goes, though. We'll move forward into the roundup here, and F1 Academy was at Singapore. Leah Block getting the victory in race 1. So credit to her, first career win in F1 Academy. In full control of main F1, yeah. So credit to her. Beats Woog and Chambers, so 2 Americans on the podium. Nobles, Dorian Panier, top 5. And then I don't know, something. Yeah, Courtney Crone was 13th. Then in race 2, Woog Pan, who had the lead till late. Lloyd, your top 3. Crone gets a point there, so Chambers was 11th. Leah Block ended up 17th. And then the points heading to Las Vegas for the final race of the final round is 9 points between Pan and Woog for the championship. Lloyd and Chambers are separated by 2 points for third. Then there's bigger gaps and stuff. Leah Block is 4 points out of 9th. And then 13 points out of 8th. So that's what her options are. Courtney Crone finally gets her first point of the season. So she's now all the drivers who have competed at every race have a point. So at least so it isn't a total embarrassment. Then let us move over MotoGP. Moto 2 was at to Miss Australian and Malaysian Grand Prix. Yeah, well, nobody. That's fine. I don't really care. Indonesian Grand Prix. Saw Fermin Aldeguer, the rookie, get his first career victory over Pedro Acosta and Alex Marquez. So Grassini getting first and third. KTM's getting second and fourth. The factory Honda of Luca Marini was fifth. And then Raul Fernandez for Trackhouse was sixth. Fabio Quartararo, Morbidelli, DG Antonio, and Alex Rins round out your top 10. No. Marquez and Bezzecchi crashed together, and Marquez got hurt. So he'll be out for next 2 rounds. Then you have Buddy already has a championship locked up, so it's not as big of an issue. Morera wins in Moto 2 over Guevara and Canet. Joe Roberts finishes 6th. And yeah, so that's Manny or Man. What is it? Marcos Ramirez falls out lap 1. Gonzalez gets DQ'd. The standings for Moto 2 heading into their next round. That's not what I was looking for. Results and standings. So, 2 Gonzalez now is only 9 points ahead of Morera after getting DQ'd. So huge in regards to the championship there. Canet in third, 10 points at a Baltus. Dixon, who's going to be moving to World Superbike to race for Honda. Then you have go down to Roberts, who's behind his teammate Ramirez there. So currently 6 points out of 10th. And we'll see what happens with him as we move forward. World Superbikes will be at Estoril this coming weekend. For the next to last rounds of the championship. If it isn't locked up here at Estoril, they'll go to Jerez to decide it. But right now, of course, it's a 2-rider race. Toprak Raskat-Lioku and Nicolo Bulega in a different planet compared to everybody else. And we'll see if Toprak Raskat-Lioku can lock up another world championship before he moves on to Grand Prix. And also see what Garrett Gerloff can do these last couple of races. In the NHRA, they'll be in Dallas for the Texas Fall Nationals. Only 3 races to go. There'll be Dallas, then Vegas, and then Pomona. The standings, Coletta has an 86-point lead on Ashley. It's over 100 points, 127 to Langdon, 153 to Stewart, and so on and so forth. In Funny Car, Austin Prock only has a 20-point lead on Matt Hagan, 65 on Jack Beckman. Pro Stock, Dallas Glenn has a 25-point lead on Greg Anderson. And then in Pro Stock Motorcycle, Richard Gadsden, a 29-point lead on Gage Herrera and a 53-point lead on Matt Smith. And then Petit Le Mans for IMSA, final race of their season. Trying to see where IMSA is. Do I have IMSA? IMSA is not there. Okay. We'll go that way. Entry list for Aero Motorsport. Well, yeah. Inception, blah, blah, blah. Motul Petit Le Mans. Event details. Current, that's Earl Bamba. Busy weekend at Road Atlanta. You'll have the MX5 Cup. You'll have Porsche Carrera Cup. The VP Racing Challenge and the Michelin Pilot Challenge, and then 53 entries for Moto Petit Le Mans. You'll have the Lamborghini will be there this weekend. 3 drivers for each car. Easterson, who sucked in Formula 2, has now moved over to sports cars. He'll be racing with Neil Yanni and Tillman Vanderhelm in the JDC Miller 85. The BMWs in their last race as Team RLL before they move to I'm forgetting who the team is in WEC. Team WRT will be taking over the BMW program. We got the Cadillacs, we got Norman Nato, we have Frederick Vesti, Frines, Kevin Magnuson, Will Stevens for Wayne Taylor's team, Scott Dixon, and Tristan Vautier for Meyer Shank in the 93. Van Dor and Lauer. Then in 12 cars for LMP2, also LMP or GTP and LMP2, same amount of cars. That'll be interesting. Battle there. AO Racing, of course, has the skeleton cars this weekend, so it'll be cool looking black and white schemes. In GTD Pro, they have 10 cars. James Hinchcliffe driving for Pfaff Motorsports in the Lamborghini. You got, the Ferraris there. Then in GTD, there's 19 cars in that field. The points standings in the WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. Trying to schedule results standings. So currently, Matt Campbell and Matthew Jaminet lead the points in the drivers with the Penske Porsche team over their teammates Felipe Nasr and Nick Tandy. Philip Eng, Dries Vanthoor with BMW are third. Then in LMP2, you have Dane Cameron, PJ Hyatt, the AO Racing team leading over Dan Goldberg in second. In GTD Pro, Antonio Garcia and Alexander Sims are only 18 points out of Albert Costa, who drives for Ferrari. So that'll be an interesting battle for the drivers. And then I think the Windward Racing team with Allison Ward have locked up GTD. I figure once they start, they definitely will. Mercedes AMG, leader, of course, same way with over Ferrari in manufacturer and GTD Pro, Chevrolet over Ferrari and Ford, LMP. Then in the manufacturer standings in GTP, it's only 7 points between Porsche and Acura, so very, very tight battle there. So that'll be another one to look at. And then in the team standings, it mirrors your driver points. It's the United Autosports, okay, 22. All right, for Dan Goldberg. And then the Pratt Miller and Dragon Speed Ferrari, the Windward Racing Mercedes over the Harder Racing Aston, and then Vassar Sullivan. It's actually pretty reasonably close in GTD after you get past the Windward Racing team. So some points battles to look at as well. Going into the final, into this final race of the 2025 season. Be more announcements in regards to who will be around or will be participating next year. Finding grid spots on the IMSA grid is difficult these days, so being able to get approved for an opportunity is big. And then I mentioned the supercars. It's the Bathurst 1000. Reynolds locked in with new GM homologation team. Oh, Gears 20. So we'll contest it. We'll retain the 2017 Bathurst 1000 winner. There are just 6 seats on account to a premiere, one at Mattstone. Yeah, so unchanged lineup, deep Escalade. So credit to Reynolds sticks around at Team 18, so he'll all right. So it's cool. Former Bathurst 1000 winner gets another opportunity. So then after this, then you have after this weekend's race, you'll have the Gold Coast 500, the Penrite Sandown 500, and then the Adelaide Grand Finale as Trevor Lawrence gets a rushing touchdown to tie the game. So there you go. The standings heading into this weekend's Bathurst 1000. Brock Feeney currently leads the points. Of course, 12 wins, 14 poles, dominating now they've done the elimination. There's only 10 drivers left the road to the finals or whatever. Not sure how they current standings in the enduros. Of course, there's one more to go. Sprint Cup, Brock Feeney won that. So over Matthew Payne, and Will Brown, the defending series champion. Then there's a bigger gap. Cam Waters, Chaz Mostert, Brody Kostecki, who won at the Bend. Then D. Pasquale, Ryan Wood, Thomas Randall, and Kai Allen. Rounding out your top 10. The Great Race. One of the biggest races in all the world. And Supercars Season Explained, Supercars Channel. One of the most challenging circuits and just being able to race it in those kind of cars. The lap record is a 2 minutes 3.37 for Chaz Mostert in 2021. Yeah. I was trying to look for the entry list, but Triple H for livery pays tribute to Lowndes with my tribute to Bathurst fans. Make it Bathurst 1000. Run the results race. Unfinished business. You'd think they'd have the entry list there, but oh well. Whatever. I'll go and talk about it next week. See who wins accordingly. All right, so let us go into the Xfinity Series, starting there. Round of 8 with the Focus Tel 302 on Saturday evening. So that'll be there. 38 drivers, 38 spots, so nobody going home. Go through. You got Nick Leitz in the 07. Daniel Hemrick driving the 11 again. Smithley. Corey Day driving the 17 for Hendrick. Eric Almirillo in the 19. Trevor Bain driving the 24 for Sam Hunt. And then, Harrison Burton, of course, now knocked out of the playoff. Austin Green driving the 32 again this week, or was the 87 last week? Now it's 32 this week. Mason Maggio for Joey Gase. Then you had Massey in the 45. I don't know. I think they don't really change them. Joey Gase driving for himself. Thomas Nunziata driving the 70 for Cope Family Racing. Jersey guy. And Josh Williams driving the 91. So, yeah. So then we have. So, Josh, you get first dibs here on the Xfinity Series. Is it, how do you get hurt again? Lovely. That's cute. Is it Connor Zilisch or Justin Allgaier, or is it someone else somehow, some way?
I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting question here, and I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna say Justin Allgaier. Just because I'm gonna fade the guy that's won 10 races here on the season, but I want to see. I want to see how he does on a mile and a half, like Las Vegas. We saw him struggle a couple weeks ago in Kansas, right? And just didn't have the car there at the end, even though he finished in second there. So I just don't know if on the mile and a half he's got race winning speed there. Although the 88 did win earlier in the year with Kyle Larson behind the wheel in Texas, but of course Texas is way different than Las Vegas there. So we'll see there. And as a wild card, go with Anthony Alfredo as a wild card here.
So since you picked Justin Allgaier, and I mean, it's rare to not take Connor Zilisch, but it just seems weird to not take him. We didn't take him at Gateway. Neither of us did. So that's doesn't happen very often. But I'm gonna go a little bit off the, I would say, off the beaten path, and I'll go with Eric Almirola. He's a veteran. He's done well at Las Vegas over the years, and Gibbs comes off of winning a 1.5 mile race at Las Vegas. So as we get another solid run by Isaiah Pacheco, whose helmet came off, and now he's throwing his mouthpiece like an animal. Then whoever the hell that guy is. And then the my wild card pick for this week will be, my wild card pick will be Daniel Hemmer, because he's not a full-time driver. So I'll go with him. Wild card. All right, NASCAR Cup at Las Vegas. And overthrow. So this week, the Cup Series Vegas will be the South Point 400. Sunday, it'll be at 5:30, so 2:30, or is it 3:30? Yeah, it'll be a 3:30 start. JJ Ailey, Catherine Legg, the open cars. Nobody going home. Let's see. Go with a playoff guy. Kind of think, I don't know what it is. I mean, I think Bell had this race won last year and then lost it late. So I'm going to. I picked Christopher Bell last week. And, I think. I think I'm gonna go. I was thinking Bell, but oh man, the hard hit there on Hollywood Brown, and I'll go with Larson. It's one of his better racetracks. If the high line can come in, he'll feel at home. Larson to win, and my wild card choice will be I'll go with Keebler Gibbs because there's been a uptick of performance from the guy. So you'd assume that they'd be in a position to be able to perform there. So we'll see what happens with that, but we'll just say Larson here. To go and lock himself into the final four. Josh, what say you as the last choice here before we go to the sim segment?
Quick interception by Devin Lloyd. Oh my God, he's going to return it for sixth. Let's go. Maybe, yeah. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, that's on the delay, but yeah, Devin Lloyd takes it was what looked like a possible touchdown for the Jacksonville for the Chiefs, gets turned around. That is the turnover they needed.
Put Devin Lloyd in the Hall of Fame. Oh my gosh.
99-yard interception return for a touchdown for Devin Lloyd. Kermit the Frog, huge mistake there, and I just lost some points. I have to go and look at that.
But yeah. Anyways, yeah, for me, yeah, I'll go with Denny. I think Denny's been trying to get to the championship for so many years, especially in the last couple of years, just hasn't been able to make it in. But obviously, this has been his best year in a few years now. So, yeah, I think Denny, of course, been controversy for him lately with New Hampshire, Kansas, and then I guess a little bit of controversy here at the Roval. So, see if he can turn around and put that all behind him and win Las Vegas to lock him in for Phoenix there. And then guess for me, I guess wild card gonna go with Chris Buescher here. RFK, it's been pretty good as one of the non-playoff contenders, and obviously coming off of a fourth place finish here at the Roval. So definitely think he can be a factor here in Sunday.
Yeah, I think Christopher Buescher, they have some good momentum, the Roush team. I mean, you had Ryan Preece giving out Totino's pizza rolls. You could see the faces on some of the other drivers are not too keen on those Totino's pizza rolls. They were trying. What is it? Barry said he was trying to watch his figure. Brian Blaney looked like he was going to vomit, like he's having labor pains and having nausea, like he's preggers with his wife. But I think Roush has good mojo going as they move into 2026. So see how that all goes. And we'll go over all our picks and see where they rolled accordingly. For all right, so there we go now into the sim segment. Let us know what's going on in iRacing and gaming, Josh.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, Devin Lloyd there giving us some excitement here on the podcast. But yeah, for me on iRacing, ran a little bit of the Roval, mixed bag there. Finished, I think, in 12th, running the Cup race on the Roval. But yeah, for me, tried to run Xfinity. That didn't really turn out that well either. So a little bit of everything there in the Roval. Not really my best road course here. For me, I mean, I'm honestly better at the Roval on running the Miatas, I think, or the GR86s. The Cup car just doesn't, or really stock cars just don't really race that well on the Roval in my opinion. So it was just a struggle there, and plus the layout change and everything definitely made it more challenging. Of course, with the hairpin now transitioning back onto the oval there. So yeah, just really mixed bag there. But yeah, as for me, I finally won on an oval because I did the Talladega series for the 87 cars. So I'll have to show you this afterwards. I'll send it to y'all because I need to post this on Reddit because honestly it was a pretty good finish. But we got the one to go restart on Talladega, running in fourth, and the guys in first and second got together. Second place driver spun out the guy running in second or in first. They got together, made contact. Then I was able to get a run on the guy that was in third and went to his outside in turn 3. And then we were 3 wide coming off of turn 4 there. And the guy that made contact originally in second also made contact with the third place guy, or the guy that I just passed for the lead, and then I was able to hold on to it for the remainder of the deal there. So it was definitely a good one. Finally getting an oval win here. Finally, after dry spell for almost 2 years, pretty sure. So it's been a rough go here on some close calls on the oval side. Definitely been improving on the road course side, but finally got victory here on the oval side of things in the 87 car at Talladega. So always a fun deal there, and glad I made the decision to run that one there. So, and I guess shout out to the 2 car for wrecking the leaders there and giving me an opportunity there to pick up that win there. So for iRacing this week, I think they just had the Petite Le Mans there. Didn't run that one, but that'll be one to mark on the calendar, I guess, for next year. Suppose their NASCAR course at for the Cup Series and Xfinity at Las Vegas this week. The 87 car, they were at Talladega, so they're at Sonoma this week. So throwing it back to the day when TK was running there real good. and for the IndyCar, trying to see here. So on the IndyCar side, one thing to bring up, forgot to mention, entries are now open for the Open Wheels 500, or actually now known as the Hoosier 500, for the openwheels.com. Tanner Watkins, of course, been on the show a long time ago, of course, running that deal again with backing from Performance Racing Industry. So very good news there. Try to make a determination if I can enter that event there. So would definitely be good to be able to do that. The roadside of things, their sports car. Trying to look at the GT4 challenge here, because that's one that I've been running well in. They're doing Road Atlanta this week. Their GT3 regional tour, Americas at and the end of the third quarter here for the game here, but they're running at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, so running at Mexico City there. Got that there. Rainmaster Challenge was at Indianapolis last week. Did run that one, not too bad there. So it seems like, wonder what's happening in Mexico City, because they got Mexico City for a lot of these races here this week on the sports car side of things for iRacing LMP2 Challenge this week at Road Atlanta, because the real life IMSA series is at Petit Le Mans this upcoming weekend. So lots of things going on in iRacing. Also, wouldn't be remiss to say that NASCAR 25, I believe, releases at the end of the week. So the 14th, I think, or 13th. So the very end of the week there. Still need to, for me at least, I've got to go and get my power supply fixed on my PlayStation after it got zapped in a thunderstorm a couple months ago. So just haven't gotten around to it, but found a guide online and got the tools. So took apart my PlayStation and then hooked it up to power and got my multimeter out and tested the voltage, and it's producing 0.2 volts there. So that was obviously dead there. So gonna have to go on eBay or something and buy a new power supply, and then hopefully that'll be it there. There's another issue that it possibly could have, but that one's a quite more complicated repair, having to go and desolder things on the circuit board, and I don't have a solder iron, and I don't have the material for that. So we'll see if I'm able to get that. Of course, there's the option of buying it on PC, but I don't think I think the PC release doesn't come out the same as console releases for NASCAR 25. So we'll get it eventually, even if it's not on release day. And sure, other people, I mean, Joe can provide us content, because I think he did say he bought an Xbox. So if I don't have my PS5 up to go for NASCAR 25, maybe we can call in Joe and ask him, or he can give us insight on release day. So obviously, NASCAR 25 coming out soon, and a lot of the content there has been talked about. Looking forward to being able to play that whenever I'm able to do that. So of course, Jaguars Chiefs starting the fourth quarter here, 1st and 19 for Kansas City here, down a touchdown here at midfield here for Kansas City, coming off a penalty here. So we'll see what they're able to do, and if Jags get the ball back as Mahomes launches it into outer space here, and incomplete on 2nd and 19. So that's sorry, I'm a little ahead of you on there, but
So you're going in a third down here, and where can we find you on the socials?
Of course, at JP Huffline on Twitter, uSailor2 for the Twitch stream, of course, whenever that's there. Travis Hunter, little injury there. Hopefully that's not too bad. And Grip Shirt Podcast, of course, on YouTube for our podcast, which got everything uploaded there. So yeah, it should be an interesting game, delay of game here for Kansas City, and yeah, of course JP Huff or Josh Huffine Photography on Instagram for the photos posted a Porsche picture here recently for that motorsports photography sub or Facebook page. They theme of the week last week was Porsche. This week is Ferrari. So maybe post some Ferrari pictures here later this week as I find sorted through all my pictures from Rolex and all that. So yeah, we'll see how the rest of this game turns out.
You can find me. I have to go through all these papers I have here. Yeah, so you can of course see the Gripster podcast page on YouTube. You can, oh boy, oh wow, and GSP 1428 on YouTube, PG Matthew 28 on Twitter, PGM GSP 28 on Instagram. You can find Gripster podcast at philipgmatthew.com and podbean.com. Think we'll have some more subscribers because of a little bit of networking through the missus friends and sorted other people after nice party we had at a nice winery out in I'm trying to remember I had enough to where I forgot it was over close to New Hope, PA. So it was very nice in Lambertville. So very nice winery and a very nice service and all. Beautiful day. So we'll be back next week for episode 287 of the GSP to go over everything that went on in Las Vegas. We'll be previewing the U.S. Grand Prix and everything else going on in World of Motorsports and also in the NFL. NFL Week 6 and how it goes for fantasy and in real life. We'll talk about it on the Gripster podcast. So for Josh, Phil, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.